Hello, before I get into this video, I just want to send my heart out to people in Europe who lost their homes during the climate crisis of wildfires. Wildfires are raging throughout Europe because of the climate crisis. Um, f- yeah, heavy fossil fuel usage. Yeah, this is a yeah, yeah, this is a warning sign to the entire world because Mother Earth is sick and her illness is climate change. So I heard that people in the UK lost their homes to some wildfires. I heard some wildfires are burning in Belgium near the German border. And I've been to these places, and these places are amazing. I've been to Belgium. I was blown away by the culture and the homes and everything in that country. And it's sad that it's everything is being destroyed by wildfires. So I feel sorry for the European people, and I just hope they can survive through all of this. So anyway, I feel for the people in Europe. Okay, on to this video. Bonjour, bonsoir, and welcome to another video. All right, since I can't do a video outside due to the extreme heat, so I'm in my house. I'm in an air conditioned, nice and cool place, and I'm keeping myself nice and cool from the extreme heat from outside. So due to the extreme heat, um, I'm just gonna be doing videos in my home. I'm not gonna be doing videos at parks or anywhere, roadside parks, ballparks. Yeah, I used to do videos in those places in the past for this channel. Since I can't go to those places anymore due to the extreme heat, so I'm gonna just stay inside and just do a video. I think around about like September, October, when it cools down and getting close to autumn, Indian summer, I might do a video outside. And yeah, and also I'll do an outside video on the final day of me being here before I head abroad to Japan to get on board a cruise ship. That will be in October. So yeah. Anyway, on to this video. So you guys are seeing the title of this video, and the title of this video is, and this video is for people from other U.S. states, from other U.S. states and from other countries. This video is for those people, and this video is titled, "Do Not Move to Texas. Reasons Why." So, yeah, I noticed, and I've been paying attention to this. A lot of people from other U.S. states and also from other countries are moving to the Lone Star State for lower taxes. They'll keep every nickel and dime and penny of what they make on their job, and they don't have to worry about a state income tax. Yeah, low taxes here. Well, the truth is, if you live in Texas, you're going to be paying sky high property taxes. Because I know, because I live here. And the weather is just very, very brutal. The brutal summer heat during the summer here. Um, the weather is just terrible here, and it's not an ideal place to live. Then you got the failure of the power grid during the February 2021 snowstorm, Snowmageddon, where everybody lost power and people froze to death and died. You have people in places or cities like Dallas trying to keep warm because the electricity in their home is out, and they're trying to keep themselves nice and warm by wrapping themselves up in blankets, going out to the garages of their homes and start up their cars to warm themselves up by a car, but end up dying from exhaust pipes of the car, keeping themselves nice and warm around a barbecue pit outside. Yeah. I think an elderly woman died by getting like a medication or something for because she was old and sick, and she ended up dying. Yeah, some people died in that snowstorm. And all because Texas opted out of connecting to a power grid that powered other states and also Canada. Which is a good idea to keep the lights on. But they opted out of that and have their own independent power grid called the Energy Reliability Council of Texas, or ERCOT. During the February 2021 snowstorm, I didn't freeze to death. The power went out briefly, then it came back on and stayed on permanently, and I was nice and warm here. Yeah, because I had a lot of blankets at my house. Had a heated blanket that that on my bed that kept me nice and warm. So I was doing fine. So it is what it is, and I think I made some disastrous videos on that, and somebody who watched the videos on this YouTube channel checked on me and made sure I was okay. It was a person from Europe who promoted me to move abroad to Europe, to any country, and told me to stay away from the United Kingdom. So I'm going to read something about Texas and give you guys a glimpse of how things are in the Lone Star State, or the Cheap Star State as I like to call it. Okay, here it is. All right. People from outside Texas often view aggressive law enforcement behavior, intense state pride, and hostile local reactions as signs of an unwelcoming and overly rigid culture. When troopers or local officers dismiss outsiders, tell them to leave, or ignore public questions, it creates an impression of accountability. Supporters who aggressively defend these actions reinforce the idea that questioning authority is unwelcome. Law enforcement and public interactions. Dismissive behavior. Troopers ignoring questions or rolling up windows can be seen as a lack of public accountability. Hostile defense. Supporters and local officers who attack critics online or in person create a defensive environment where dialogue is blocked. National comparison. Extreme comments comparing local policing to foreign threats or telling outsiders to stay out alienate potential residents and visitors. Cultural attitudes and regional pride.
"Don't mess with Texas." This slogan originated as an anti-littering campaign for highways, but it has evolved into a broader symbol of tough, aggressive state pride. Rejection of outsiders. Aggressive responses like, "If you don't like it, get gone," reflects a guarded, hostile attitude toward external perceives or relocation. Deterrence. Harsh social attitudes and strict regional conformity lead many people from other states and countries to avoid moving to or visiting Texas. Administrative and healthcare frustrations. Disorganized bureaucracy. Experiencing erratic queue numbers or dismissive staff. Okay, let me start over again. Disorganized bureaucracy. Experiencing erratic queue numbers or dismissive staff at state offices add to the frustration of dealing with local systems. Stress medical environments, unprofessional staff behavior, or mismanaged medical care such as yelling or improper medication adjustments during a cardiac visit creates severe anxiety and distrust in local institutions. Condescending advice, receiving moralizing lectures from individuals with past legal troubles adds insult to injury for those already overwhelmed by these stressful experiences. Okay, let me read up a follow-up. Texas, worst state to work and live. Crime rates, environmental quality, child care availability, discrimination, abortion health care, highest number of uninsured residents, violent crime, abortion bans, laws targeting LGBTQ+. Okay, and here's some people here's someone from Pennsylvania who wants to move to Texas. And this is a conversation between someone from Pennsylvania and someone from Texas. All right, the person from Pennsylvania. No state income tax. I couldn't ask for more. The person from Texas. Even though there is no state income tax, you are going to pay taxes. The Lone Star State is going to make you pay through sky-high property taxes. Texas has one of the highest property taxes in the country. There's a saying, the tax money has to come from somewhere. Person from Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, you pay high property taxes and income tax. Go figure. The person from Texas. And all of that makes up the entire USA. The United States is the most expensive country to live in. So it doesn't matter what part of the US you live in. Everything is expensive. Person from Pennsylvania. Your logic makes no sense. Person from Texas. Well, let me make myself clear. The United States is a very expensive country. The cost of living is high, healthcare cost is high, and the tax system is rigged in favor of the wealthy. The poor pay more in taxes, and the wealthy pay little to no taxes at all. I don't look at one state and compare one state with another. I look at one country, which is the United States. So your logic makes more sense than my own. In Pennsylvania, you pay high property taxes and a high state income tax. Go figure. Texas is better because there is no state income tax and the property tax is nothing to me. That makes no sense to me. It makes sense to you because you are a lost sheep. Just like the majority of people from other U.S. states and countries who want to move to Texas. Laugh out loud. I've been to 12 countries. Mexico, Canada, United Kingdom, Belgium, Norway, Germany, France, Italy, Greece, Turkey, Cyprus, and China. In one of those countries, not China, people in those parts of the world live way better than people like you here in the United States. In Southeast Asia, you could buy a home or an apartment for $300. Haircuts start at $10 or less. Healthcare is affordable because it's free, public, and universal. Universal healthcare. Speaking of healthcare, countries that have universal healthcare for its citizens have different forms or versions of it. People have easy access to it and are fully covered. They don't have to worry about going bankrupt over medical bills, over cost, and it's guaranteed to them regardless of their bank balance. Here in the United States, the healthcare system is a pay-to-play, bureaucratic, broken, dysfunctional, fragmented, cruel system. It is a system where some people have health insurance and others don't. You have places like West Virginia where people have no health insurance at all. In the state that you want to live in, Texas, has the highest uninsured rate of people with no health insurance. Texas, West Virginia, and the entire United States have people who don't have health insurance, can't afford it. They go bankrupt over medical bills after getting care. They lose their homes over not having the money to pay the bills, die waiting to get care, and they can't afford their medication. On medication, countries with universal health care negotiate prices to bring prices down for medication so people can afford their meds at a cheaper price. For example, medicine for high blood pressure costs $9 or less in France, and that same medicine in the United States costs $18 or more. So in America, if you're rich and have great health insurance, you're going to get the best health care money can buy. But if you're poor and don't have great health insurance or no health insurance at all, you're going to get the same treatment. You're not going to get the same treatment that wealthy person is getting on health care. Health care in America benefits the wealthy. It doesn't benefit people like you. Since what I'm saying doesn't make any sense to you, well, it probably will make sense to someone else who gets it. Okay, yeah, that person nailed it. So that guy from Pennsylvania, all he cares about is moving here and keeping every single dollar bill and penny that he earns on his job. And because of low taxes and no state income tax. You know, there's a thing here in Texas called tax-free weekend. Let me say it again. There's a thing here in Texas called tax-free weekend. Means that you can go to stores and buy things without paying any taxes. And that's just temporary. And when that's over, people are going to go back to paying high taxes through the sky-high property taxes. Yeah. And I didn't mention this. Texas is a kill-happy state that kills people on death row. They will kill people who are innocent, guilty, people with a intellectual disability, learning disability, mentally ill, or foreign nationals. They'll kill anybody on death row because they're sick and barbaric, and the supporters just support this and feel like it's justice for people who do wrong. And as I see it, is barbaric. It's cruel, unusual punishment, and it is a violation to life, to a right to life. And also, it's a waste of taxpayer money, and it is. And it is. Yeah, let me go over about the law enforcement. The troopers of the Texas Highway Patrol branch of the Texas Department of Public Safety, or DPS troopers, as the locals or native Texans like to call them or refer to them as. Yeah, okay. Yeah, their policing is viewed as aggressive law enforcement behavior that's mixed. Yeah, okay, yeah, all right, yeah. Their policing is basically aggressive law enforcement behavior because they aggressively ticketed people. They have a zero tolerance policy where, you know, if you get pulled over for speeding or something that's minor, they're not going to give you a warning. They're going to give you a ticket, a traffic ticket. And they're targeting people from out of state, people who aren't from Texas. They're very harsh towards them. I think they're very harsh towards them and people who live in Texas. Yeah, like for instance, okay, my sister was pulled over by a state trooper somewhere in Texas, and my sister said that the state trooper asked her this question: "Does this car belongs to you?" And my sister said, "Well, yeah, just run the plates on my car. It will tell you that this car belongs to me." And he's asking that because he thinks that my sister might be someone from a foreign country driving a stolen car, or probably killed someone and stole that car from them. Yeah, and I was asked that question too. I was pulled over by one of them. This was back in 2007. I was on my way to a job interview at TJ Maxx in Longview, Texas. Okay. Before I went to Longview, Texas, I stopped at a Sonic fast food restaurant and ordered some food there. A burger, a side order of fries, and a drink. Pop, soda. So I ordered the food there, and I drove to a park in Liberty City called Camp Hugo Memorial Park. So I went there and ate the food there. Then when I got done eating the food, I got in my car and headed towards Longview, Texas. I got on Interstate 20, headed east. And okay, when I was driving, I saw a state trooper parked on the side of the road, and I moved in the overtaking lane, the left lane, the passing lane, to avoid passing the state trooper. So I moved in the lane, and I kind of drove a mile or a kilometer over the speed limit. And the trooper immediately pulled onto the highway. And when I moved back into the slow driving lane to resume keeping to the right, he was behind me with his emergency lights on his police cruiser. So I pulled over. And when I pulled over, he got out of his police cruiser and walked to the driver's side window of my car. And I rolled the window down. And this guy was pissed off this guy was angry. He was wearing sunglasses. He was a white guy. He walked up to the window of my car and said this to me after I rolled the window down: "Next time you see a cop behind you, you pull over right now." And I apologized to him. I don't know why I did that. And after that, he said this: Highway Patrol, let me see your driver's license.
So I showed him my driver's license. I said something stupid about the speed limit.
And he said, the speed limit is 70 miles per hour.
Or 110 kilometers per hour. During that time, I didn't know anything about the metric system, but I do now. Okay, then after that, he confused me on signing a citation or ticket. Okay. He gave the ticket, didn't say anything. It was hot outside. And I went to sign the line. Then he pointed to the second line immediately. And I said sorry real quickly and signed the ticket. Then he grabbed the ticket book and rushed off saying this. And I said, hey, I didn't know what it was. What it was. I don't know what it was that he gave me. So I asked him, officer, is this a traffic ticket? And he said something. It was Texas lingo, and I couldn't understand what he said. Okay, then after that, I got in my car. I pulled back onto the interstate, and he pulled onto the interstate, and all of a sudden, he just disappeared. I didn't know where he went. So yeah. Okay, yeah. And I got pulled over by these guys in the past. I got pulled. One nearly ran me over at a gas station. Well, after I got some gas, and I'll tell you how this happened. A convenience store clerk at this gas station, this was in Liberty City, made me pay more for fuel. And it was a girl. She made me pay more for fuel. This was like a long time ago. I think this was about 2002, 2003. Yeah, she made me pay more for fuel. And first I paid for my gas. Then I started pumping gas in my car. She came outside and made me pay more for fuel. And I just gave her more money. And she walked away. And I said something. I don't know what I said to her, like, yeah, because I was disgusted at what she was doing to me. Then all of a sudden, out from nowhere, a state trooper come driving through, nearly running me over. And he went and parked in the parking spaces in front of the convenience store. He gets out immediately, goes in the convenience store, then he leaves the convenience store and walks up to me after I got in my car and got ready to go, and he signaled quickly, immediately, to tell me to roll the window down on my car. The driver's side door, the window on the driver's side door to my car, excuse me. And he said this to me: "Are you cursing? Are you cussing?" I said, "No." "Are you acting up?" I said, "No." And he said, there's a lot of cameras around here that will detect everything that you said." And I said, well, I wasn't saying any profanity. And when I said that word, the look on his face just changed, because he never heard a word like that, profanity. Because, he's ignorant, and he got some inaccurate, piss poor education in high school here in Texas. Now, he probably some dumbass football jock who's the biggest thing on the high school football team, and football is a big thing here in Texas. Yeah, he was shocked when he heard me say profanity. And after that, he said this to me: "Stay safe!" And he walked away, and he rushed away. So, I told my dad about it. My dad didn't do anything about it. He just tells me to calm down. Yeah. Yeah, I got pulled over by another Texas Highway Patrol trooper. It was an old man with his partner, and I was coming back from Walmart, a Walmart in Longview, Texas. I was coming back. I was on the freeway, heading back to Liberty City, and there was a tow truck and a car parked on the side of the road. So I drove past the tow truck and the police car. But I didn't know if it was a police car. I didn't see anybody. It was so dark outside. It was nighttime. It was around, I think it was around like 1 in the morning. Yeah, I had a job where I worked 4 p.m. to 1 in the morning. It was an unloading job at Walmart where I go and unload delivery trucks that deliver goods to the store. And after I drove past the tow truck and the car, I think I saw 2 men with cowboy hats on their heads. Okay, as I was driving, okay, all of a sudden a car drives behind me without their lights on. Yeah, the headlights were turned off. Then all of a sudden, red and blue lights start to flash, and I knew that I was nailed by the cops, by a police officer. So I pulled over, and okay, it happened really fast. Okay, I was gonna look to my left, down to hear a knock on the window to the front passenger side door. So I rolled it down, and it was a state trooper. The state trooper was an old white man, and he told me that I violated the stationary vehicle law, meaning the move over law, which I didn't know anything about. But in Texas, it doesn't mean anything. So if you don't, like ignorance of the law doesn't mean anything. So yeah. I told him about the speed limit. I don't know why I was saying that, and he said this in a smart remark. I understand that, but you got to reduce your speed to pull over. And okay, I was confused. I was talking. I wasn't making any sense. He tells me to get out of my car, and had me get out of I got out of the car real quickly, and he had me stand in the middle of the road. Yeah, to see if I was drunk. I was intoxicated. Yeah. So I was being nice to him. I was talking to him, and I asked him about this state trooper that pulled me over back in 2007, and he said this to me: "Don't know him." And that's what he said. So after that, he gives me something. I didn't know if it was a traffic ticket or a citation because the paper was very long. So I think I showed it to my sister, and my sister freaks out and tells me it was a traffic ticket. So I had to go and pay this ticket for violating the stationary vehicle law. So yeah, yeah, and also the people here. The culture here. Some of the people here talk very weird. They talk very fast. They talk very cryptic. And the ones that talk very cryptic, they talk like they're straight out of the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, some Wizard of Oz cryptic talk that they do here. And they can throw off somebody who isn't from Texas. Yeah, you can be mad and frustrated of how bad things are here to somebody. They'll view you as a threat and think that you're dangerous. If you talk about the troopers of the Texas Highway Patrol to a homebody Cherokee Indian woman who lives in West Texas, or a lawyer who you went to school with, the lawyer wouldn't give a shit, but the Cherokee Indian will, because she will view you as, oh, you're going to be dangerous. Oh, you're going to hurt somebody. Oh, you're a threat. I got to calm you down. And, that happened to me in the past. And now, I don't let stuff bother me anymore. I just stay calm. I don't let anything bother me anymore. And so everything you guys just heard in this video, I want to ask some more things about Texas. Yeah, let's see. Trying to think here. Voter suppression. That's right, voter suppression. voter suppression is put in place to keep people who are black or Hispanic from voting for the opposition to a party. The Republican Party or the Texas Republican Party have complete control of everything in Texas. The state house, the governor's seat, everything. They have total control. And the Republicans have been in power since 1995. Yeah, when George W. Bush became governor of Texas before he became president of the United States in 2001 after he defeated Al Gore in 2000, he became governor of Texas, defeating the incumbent governor Ann Richards. Ann Richards was a Democrat. Yeah, Ann Richards had policies like have rehabilitation to help people who committed crimes, and she wasn't in favor of. I think she wasn't in favor of getting rid of the death penalty, which I think they should do, but they're not going to do that. Okay, you got these hardcore yeehaw redneck Texans who don't like all of that. They go and vote for George W. Bush, and he became governor of Texas. And the governorship has been in conservative hands for nearly 30 to 31 years. Yeah. Yeah, the Republicans have control of Texas, and they have the governorship since 1995. Yeah. So basically, that's like one, two, three, four, about over 4 decades of conservative Republican control. Yeah, and the laws here are ridiculous, unfair, and they make no sense. Going back to voter suppression, yeah, I view voting as a waste of time because, you know, you're not gonna you're not gonna change anything if you vote because the status quo gonna remain in place. But I think voter suppression is wrong, and it keeps people from voting the way that they want to vote, and it's just wrong. My mother and father chewed me out because I told them that I want to leave the United States and move abroad, move to France or any country in Europe or any country of my choosing. My dad, he chewed me out and told me that I won't be able to survive in a foreign country, and saying that why I won't survive in a foreign country, because I won't be able to learn a language of that country because I have a learning disability, and I won't be able to hold a job because I have a temper. And when I said something to my dad in French, I'm learning French. I'm not fully fluent in the language. I've been putting off French lessons. When I said something in French like "Salut, je m'appelle Enchanté," when I said that, my dad snapped at me and said this to me real quickly. "What did you say? What did you say? You don't know what you said. What did you say? That's all you had to. That's all you know how to say. And why you want to move to France, a second-rate country?" Yeah, my dad called France a country that I want to move to. He called it a second-rate country. And this was over me, him taking me to a courthouse in Longview to renew my passport by filling out some papers. This was back in 2023, before I went on that Mediterranean cruise with him, my mom, and my sister. Yeah, he put me down because I want to leave the United States and move to France. And he said that, "Why you want to move to France for? Why you want to move to a second-rate country? You live in the United States. You live in a country with so much freedom. And he also says stuff like this. Even though we're held down, this is one of the best countries in the world. And after my dad took me home, I just jumped out of his pickup truck and I stormed into the house, and he just laughed at me because he's zeroing in on me having a nasty temper, which I don't have anymore. And also, my mother snapped at me and told me, "Oh, you got to take care of your sister." When I told her I want to move abroad, and she told me, "Oh, you got to take care of your sister." And she just went on and on about lecturing me about moving abroad, and I gotta have this amount of money to move abroad, and I won't be able to land those jobs overseas because I have a 12th grade education. And she said that I won't survive overseas. And she says I'll move back to the United States, to Texas. And she told me that Texas was the land of milk and honey, and she was bashing and putting down California. Then she said that the entire United States was the land of milk and honey, and told me that people from foreign countries who want to come here, they come here for freedom, and they're escaping their violent, torn down, disarrayed countries to move to the U.S. for a better life and freedom. And when I said the word, they want to move here for freedom, she said this, ding, 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 you are correct. And she just went on and on and on and on and on and on and on this lecture. And she won't let me say a word and ask me why I want to move abroad. She just kept going on and on and on and on about how bad it is overseas and saying that I won't survive overseas. Which is wrong for her to do. And it's not right. So, that's like, that's hardcore Texasism here. I'm sorry about this video being long. I'm just gotta make my point on why people from other U.S. states and countries should move to Texas. If some of you who like Texas and you want to move here, you have the right to move here. But everything I just said in this video are not good. You're gonna move to this state and see things and go through things that I see and go through. So it's not for everybody, and it's not. If you like it, if you want to move here, more power to you. And I can't tell people if they should move to somewhere or not. That's just up to them. That's their choice. So and I'm not. If I want to move somewhere, I'm not gonna praise where I want to move to through the roof. I'm not all about that raw stuff like people in America are. I'm not into all of that. So I think that's all I gotta say in this video. More videos to come, and I'm gonna promise all of you that I'm gonna do a video outside and I'm gonna show myself. All right, that's all I gotta say in this video. Cheers and au revoir. Merci beaucoup. Goodbye.